Zac Hollis, Zac Hollis. Hey, there you are. Made it in time.
Yeah.
Skoda does not make motorcycle, Shumi.
Yeah, but they make good coffee. Plus, I came to see you. You've been impossible to reach, and I just wanted to remind you that motorcycle companies have CEOs as well.
See, that's the problem, yaar. He does not even know how to talk properly. Shumi, we have a job to do, so please leave us alone.
Yeah, I'm going to have coffee. Go.
All right,
Whatever
come,
you need.
let's go. Thank you, Zac, for having us here. I've been waiting for this conversation for a very, very long time. Last time,
I did. I went to National Park and saw some rhinos.
where was this?
Kartikeya. People talk about Africa for safari, but India has so much to offer with wildlife. It was absolutely amazing.
And there's a village there that adopts a rhino baby because sometimes the rhino mothers are killed. Rhino babies can't drink cow milk. So they've come up with a special formula just so that they can raise these.
Next time you need a tour guide if you're going up. Yeah.
No, I did my
I didn't
research.
see any flamingos though. And only when you understand, you start to understand the whole size of India. When someone says, you know, you haven't had a dealer here for me to service my car, and my next nearest dealer is 19 hours drive. Nothing. It's a long way to expect someone. That's why it's really important that we expand the dealers.
Real loyalists.
And we're in Guwahati. So we're back in Guwahati, we opened, and then from there someone said, why don't you go to the national park? So I had a driver pick me up, we went to the national park for the weekend. I saw rhinos, elephants. I didn't see a tiger, which was a bit disappointing because the guide told me there's a 50% chance of seeing a tiger. I had 3 safaris and didn't see a tiger. So how does that work statistically? You tell me.
I think the only conclusion is that the guide was wrong.
This is a conclusion.
I would have thought that at this time you must be super stressed. Big plans come unfolding right now.
Yeah, we're all preparing for the world premiere. The world premiere, as you know, takes place on the 18th of March, and that's what our preparation is. We're all getting ready for that, and then the day after, of course, we have a dealer conference. We want to show the dealers the car, the new Kushaq at the same time. So it's really exciting now, but of course we're also expanding our dealer network. As you know, we've reached 100 outlets now, and we plan 150 before the Kushaq is launched. So I want to go and visit these new dealers.
I've been wanting to ask this question. Skoda has a very unique positioning in our country. In the past, you have had cars that almost became cult. Octavia, for example. Now, it's premium, it's aspirational. Many other premium brands haven't really managed to do it this well as Skoda does. What's the secret sauce?
It's a good question, and not long after I arrived here in India, I was introduced to a group of journalists, and they actually came up with this term value luxury. They said, look, your brand represents value luxury in India. You know, you're a luxury, you're a premium brand, but you're also offering good value. And it's been created by cars like Octavia, Superb, Kodiak, and of course the recently launched Karoq as well. And when we come to Kushaq also, we still want to deliver a value luxury product and also a value luxury experience. This is important.
Since you brought it up, Karoq, have you decided now when it's going to be back in the market?
Karoq was brought in as part of what we call a bridging strategy. So what we needed to do before the Kushaq came along was to make sure we had some volume going through the dealers, to make sure we were continuing the press. So we launched the RS as a limited run, we launched the Karoq also as a limited run, and then we put the fabulous 1-litre TSI engine into the Rapid, which has had a fantastic response, and that gives me a lot of confidence for the Kushaq. But to come back to your question directly, we haven't decided yet whether we will continue with having more Karoqs.
We are getting calls all the time asking when is
I
it
would
back?
love to have more, but of course, you know, as you can imagine, the whole Volkswagen Group has a lot of processes to go through to make things like that happen. At the moment, we focus on Kushaq.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ja, ich spreche Deutsch, aber ich mag lieber English.
English version. Okay. Basically, I wanted to get to know more of Zac here.
But they don't want to see an interview in German, do they?
No, but I wanted to know that. But we'll start with what they want to know.
Hindi mein kar sakte hain?
No. Acha Samjay, that's about all I can do. Did you pre-send me these questions? Were they checked by my team? No?
Do you need that to happen?
No, don't.
That's what I thought. Do you remember your first job interview?
My first job interview? Jesus. Yes, as a trainee accountant 30 years ago.
Trainee accountant?
Trainee accountant. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. That's what I originally qualified as.
So are you a car guy or a bean counter?
I'm a sales and marketing guy, and I'm a car guy, yeah. I mean, I like cars. And this is what we're talking about, isn't it? You know?
Right.
And I think the question you ask is important because at the end of the day, you have to have passion for what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I can't sell phones because I have no passion for phones. I have a passion for cars, and that's why I'm doing this job here and really enjoying what I'm doing.
See, car guy.
And what was your first school? Where was it? Were you a good student?
I grew up in a small town in England. It was the kind of town where after 11 o'clock there was nothing to do. You know, I mean, you went to the pub, you got yourself some fish and chips on the way home, and that was it. 11 o'clock, the whole place was closed. Very small town. I lived 3 miles out of town, so I had to walk home from town. That was quite good, walking home from town, because actually it was much better. The following morning, you don't get a hangover if you spend 45 minutes
Walking back home.
right before to Soros. From there, I got a first break when I got a job with Volkswagen UK, before Skoda was part of the group. So this was in September 1990. I started off in finance, and I spent the first 7 years doing various finance roles.
So coming back to that,
Yeah.
do you remember being nervous then?
Was I nervous? Probably yes, at the time, I'm sure. When it comes to jobs and it comes to interviews, you just got so much to learn. You know, you're young, you're in your early 20s, you've just graduated. You know, I was just a newly qualified accountant. You're learning all the time.
Now that you are at the helm of it all, does it decrease with time, with experience, or is it still the same for?
Yeah, would I be nervous? If this phone rang and the sales and marketing director of Skoda Auto called me up, I would be nervous. Like, what does he want, you know? That would make me nervous from that point of view.
Okay, so it still happens a bit.
You spoke about having brilliant people around you. What kind of talent or qualities do you look for in people to call them brilliant people?
Bringing experience and bringing passion and energy to what you're doing is often more important than academic qualifications. People go to me and say, look, I've been to the best master's university in the country. It cost my parents a fortune. I said, I don't care. Show me what you can do.
Kartik usually often does praise me for the same qualities, and so if you
Very passionate.
very passionate, would you give Kartik or me a job at Skoda? I mean, we love Skoda.
He'd need a haircut and you need a different taste in clothes.
Yeah. I knew that.
That can be fixed.
They can be fixed. Then let's talk. Yeah?
Otherwise, it's all right.
Otherwise, it's all right. Yeah, I think this is good. You're bringing energy and passion to this conversation.
I'm going to jump on to the next question. I think getting to know him also starts with, what does it start with?
You have the list.
Yeah.
No?
Bunch of amateurs. Come on, where's your questions?
I think we've lost the job opportunity for sure. How do you kind of prioritize when there's so much on the table? How do you really make sense and attack things?
I think the first thing to do is to sit down with your team and say, okay, what do we need here to make sure this business is really successful with Kushaq? We will get the product. The product is amazing. The product will be fabulous. The product will be competitive. We will have the advertising funds, the marketing funds behind pushing the product. Now, what does it need to be that successful? And what you've got to look at is where have we got weaknesses, and what can we do about those weaknesses in order to make sure they become strengths to drive the business forward. So the first thing I identified when I came here was our network was too small. If we really want to grow our business, we need to expand our network. So we sat down with the team, literally with a map. And we got some of these statisticians and demographic people in, and they said, you know, you need a dealer here, here, and here. You need a service point here and here. So we did the map, and the map is right. And now we go out and implement that plan. And that's what we're implementing at the moment in terms of dealer network. That's very important. The next area we want to do is to improve on the whole area of customer satisfaction. We have a legacy in India of not always delivering the kind of customer satisfaction that I expect. We have a legacy, and it comes around with firstly having the right partners in place. That's important for customer satisfaction. Having the right culture in the organization, and then having the right processes to support that. And I'm really pleased we're making good progress on this. The next area we had to do was to really professionalize the whole sales organization. So we're putting all of those sort of things in place as well. And at the end of the day also, we've got to make sure that when it comes to Kushaq, everybody knows the car's coming. So we'll be trebling our marketing budget over the next 3 years compared to the last 3 years to get that awareness up. That's also very important for us. Yeah, I mean, this is the most important event that Skoda is worldwide is doing. Of course, the ENIAC is very important in Europe. Globally, what we're doing in India is the most important.
Was there failure any time during these 30 years that really changed you as a person?
I talk about two things. Yeah, China was tough. China is the most competitive car market in the world. Because if you look to India, we've got 15 to 20 car companies operating in India. If you go to China, the last count was 120, and it's increasing all the time. It's a big car market, but it's a very competitive car market. And when I arrived there, we'd had no new products for the last 2 or 3 years. At the end of the day, car companies work on new products. You've got to keep bringing new products. That's the first thing. So China was quite a tough experience for me. The next thing was a personal thing. 3 years ago in Prague, I bought a sports bar.
A sports bar?
I bought a sports bar.
Which one?
It was an Irish sports bar in Prague called Beckett's. This is what I bought 3 years ago with a friend in Prague.
This is interesting.
And it was great fun. Sales were booming. It was really working well, but we were still losing money. And it came down to the fact we had no experience in what we were doing. For example, the chef told me I need this many people, so I gave him it. I spoke to another guy around an Irish sports bar, and he said, I've got half as many people as you. We made a lot of mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you don't learn anything. And if you don't try anything new, you also won't make any mistakes, and therefore you won't learn anything. And it's only by making mistakes in life that we learn things. I was here in India trying to run a sports bar in Prague. It doesn't work. You need to be on the ground.
So you've got to be all in if you're doing
You've got to be. If you're going to do something like that, you've got to be all in. You've got to put your focus on it. You can't play around with it.
People typically have cliches, in terms of successful people. Well, he's a high IQ guy, super hardworking, or he's got the right degrees. Do you see any of those cliches actually being real? Because this is a mental block for people. For our viewers who are probably studying right now and looking at.
Just.
What's going on?
Sorry.
I don't know what he's doing.
There's a Kushaq in the basement.
Kushaq in the basement? Are you serious? You're a bike guy. Do you know what a Kushaq looks like? Yes. Nobody has seen a Kushaq. How do you know it's a Kushaq?
I know it's a Kushaq. I just saw it.
I was asking you about the cliches. Typical when people talk about, like normal guys like us talk about people who made it big. You have the cliches about how people, what kind of.
It's big.
No, okay. No problem.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shumi saying
There's a Kushaq in the basement.
Shumi saying there's a Kushaq in the basement. I have my doubts because the problem is he's a motorcyclist and nobody has seen the Kushaq, so he can't recognize a Kushaq.
Basement. Is it covered? Uncovered? No, uncovered. Like completely naked, production ready, all of that.
Soiled.
Yeah.
Let's go ask him.
I had nothing to do, so I went for a walk.
Let's go ask him. Our colleague Shumi, I don't know if you know him or not. He's a motorcyclist.
Yeah, I've met Shumi before. Yeah.
Yeah.
One looks a bit like Barack Obama.
Yeah, Shumi looks like Barack Obama. Yeah, that person. He is believing that he has seen a Kushaq in the basement. Can we go there and have a look at it?
Uncovered, apparently.
No, you can't. You stay here with me. Yeah?
It's right
Okay.
here.
On the 18th of March, you will see the car. With
The
everybody
world,
else.
the world premiere. Yeah.
The world premiere on the 18th of March, you will see the car. Yeah.
Okay, so
Stop trying. No. On the 18th of March, you will see the car.
we can talk about the
Stay
Kushaq.
here. You can talk about Kushaq, of course. I want to talk about the Kushaq.
All right, so let's
Yeah.
get started on the Kushaq. Okay, let's.
But Ravi, let's have a bargain here, man. Come on.
No,
Something that you've not told anybody else about the Kushaq.
Yeah.
It's right there, or just small peek.
The trouble is, I will say something, and my PR team will make you cut it out. So what's the point in,
He'll take
what I
it.
say?
He's not
Yeah,
here.
he's not
right
here. He's not
now.
listening.
So tell me, why is the Kushaq the car for an Indian SUV buyer right now? I drove the Kushaq. I really loved it, and I think from your mouth.
We
we
missed
can-
seeing you there at
No,
the
I was,
cover
you
drive.
know where I was. Yeah? I was quarantined in a hotel in Mumbai, looking out the window, dreaming of beach in Goa. Yeah? I think we have invested €1 billion into India to develop 4 new products, 2 for Skoda and 2 for Volkswagen. The Kushaq is the first one, and then we will launch a notchback sedan right at the end of this year, as you know, is the second product from Skoda. So a lot of focus and a lot of investment has gone in. There's a lot standing on this whole launch. We will bring to the Indian market the best car in the segment. This is no doubt, in my opinion. I've seen the car, I've driven the car. I've seen the car, by the way, without the camouflage, of course. You haven't, and you're not going to.
down in the
until-
basement.
We could do that right
no,
now.
you can't. You can just stay here. Yeah? This is. And you came to talk to me, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, then that's fine. Yeah? Then let's carry on.
Yes, sir.
So we will bring. It will be the best handling car. It will be the best driving car in the segment. It will be one of the safest and the best quality cars in the segment. This is what we will bring to India, and we think this is what India is waiting for from that point of view.
I think Indians love Skoda. There's no two ways about it. The value
There are
that
songs where Skoda name features in.
Can you sing this to me?
No, it's a Haryanvi song, so
okay.
they say Skoda also. No matter how they say it, Skoda really means something to Indians. But there are 10 compact SUVs already, or 10 SUVs in the sub 4 meter segment.
Do you think one more SUV is really going to get people excited?
I know it's exciting because I've been talking to dealers. There's a lot of excitement out there. I've talking to customers on Twitter and things like that. There's a lot of excitement out there. I'm very confident about this car. I could probably have never been so excited about a car launch in my 30 years.
So this excitement is really showing, actually, to be honest. We can ask him what it's going to be priced at. Yeah.
What's it going to be priced at?
I'm not telling you that. then we will announce the price about a month or so before the car's available in the showrooms.
So that's somewhere around May, June.
May or June.
What's your take on the future of mobility here in India? And by that, I mean electric.
It's the conversation that's on everybody's lips, isn't it? What is happening? Because if you look to other markets, I would say more mature car markets, such as in Europe or in China or in America, you can see the electric car market picking up quite a lot. So, but most of this is generated by government policy. So if you look at markets like Norway, where over 50% of the market is electric, it's generated by government policy. But what we need in India is we need to be able to produce an electric car for the masses in India. Once you can drive the car for 500 kilometers, you can recharge the car in 30 minutes while you're having a cup of tea or something like that, chai, then you'll buy the car. And as long as it's not more expensive than a conventional car. So I think it will come. Will it come in the next 5 years? I don't think so.
Would you call electric vehicles fun then?
Yeah, God, they're quick. You know, they're quick and they're fun to drive. And I think in India will be there, I'm sure. If you look to markets like China, what you've also got is a lot of electric two-wheelers. And maybe that is where India could start, with electric two-wheelers first.
That's a nice point, yeah.
So.
There's life for you pre and post Kushaq. Do we still see the Octavia coming in before the Kushaq now? Do you have a fix on that?
The new generation will be on the market before the Kushaq. So the 18th of March we will have the world premiere of the Kushaq, and then not long after that we will have the launch of the new generation Octavia. Of course, the Octavia in India is so iconic as a brand, and many Indians are waiting for the Octavia. In fact, I get messages virtually every day. When can I buy the Octavia? When can I buy the Octavia?
It's a showstopper.
And the new one is fabulous. I mean, the technology that's in the car, it's absolutely outstanding.
That's not in the basement by any chance, is it?
No, I don't think so. I don't think we're getting to go to the basement, but we get to go to the next question, which is, Zac, who's your inspiration?
I think there's two areas for inspiration. First of all, if you look from a business perspective, whether that be Steve Jobs, whether that be Phil Knight from Nike and people like that, when you read the books and the autobiography, you can see that along the line they failed. And then they pushed up and then they failed again. So that level of resilience in these businessmen is outstanding. That determination is also impressive when you get to sports people. I mean, you've only got to look at the cricketers in India, the dedication that goes into the training and the support and everything else. Actually, that's also an inspiration. Many people know I had quite a big sporting background myself. I've run many marathons, I've done triathlon, I did Ironman. I did Ironman triathlon as well.
Timing?
13 hours and 35 minutes I did the Ironman. If you're fit in life and you're doing sports and keeping yourself fit, this actually reflects itself from a business point of view as well. That actually is that energy that you have comes from being fit.
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also fit. So, Zac, at your level, what is that one life hack for time management? How do you do it?
There are many things that will come past your desk. Focus on what's important. Yeah?
So setting priorities.
Setting priorities is very, very key.
Rapid fire?
Yeah, rapid fire. I'm going to be referring to what I have here on the phone. I'm sorry, I've been looking into the phone.
He gets a lot of messages pinging on his phone.
Yeah, it's
girls.
Mostly his fans and girls. Yeah. It's the hair.
How have you tagged up with him?
Why not? It's
We're
true.
the team.
No, I'm on the side of the truth. Let's get to let's find out. Yeah, some of these questions are going to be very easy, and then the others even easier. Looks or performance?
Are we talking about cars here? Cars come to mind, of course.
The attribute looks or performance?
To me, it's looks. I give you an example. I have a 1962 Skoda Felicia. It looks amazing, but my God, it's not very fast. And if it does get very fast, it takes a while to stop it too. But it looks so good from that point of view. So that's my example.
Books or movies?
Books. I've started reading a lot more recently, and you end up reading quite often on planes and things like this, because part of the reason is because this doesn't work on a plane. Because this doesn't work on a plane, you end up picking up a book.
You spoke of cricket. You happen to know Sachin or Virat?
Virat.
Kartik or Rohan?
I'm not doing this one.
Come on!
Guys, I'm not doing this.
Okay, fine. True or false? Has the Indian market been in the top 10 export list for Skoda Auto?
Good question. Actually, yes. There were some Skoda Populars that were driven here and exported here, and that was one of the first export markets that Skoda did back then. So yes.
They say first few Skodas in India were assembled in a transformer plant.
True or false?
True.
What's the message you want to give to all those who are highly anticipating and waiting for the Kushaq?
Certainly wait for the car. and I'm convinced you will book the car immediately.
Wait for it, I guess.
Wait for it.
All right.
That you heard it. Wait for it.
Zach, thank you so much for making time for us, and safe travels wherever they take you now. And look forward to seeing you on the 18th of March.
18th of March, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Thank you.
I'll be there. Ciao.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you.